Okay, so I wanted to do something a little um, different. I wanted to do a class where I show you what my actual practice. um, I've been called to pull an autumn guidance, tarot guidance, but I also would love to remind you that this is a therapeutic practice, right? So we can use cards, but we can also just use our own inner guidance, our own inner light. So I am going to go over the questions and type them out here in the chat. Um, I'm not at my best because when I go to sleep, this is probably how I look. So I'm going to turn down the lights, and I would love for you to get your journal, get your cozy things in space together. If you would like to hold space for sanctuary for yourself, then I encourage you to get a candle. I love to just get showered up, get myself ready for bed, get myself ready for relaxation, and that's when I pull my cards. Um, you're busy, so you have to schedule this time, right? Um, some of us can do these things on a whim, but a lot of us, we have to schedule this time. So you may want to look ahead on your calendar now. And perhaps if you like to do this practice every new moon or every full moon, or if you want to look up when the winter solstice is going to come, and perhaps put some time on your calendar now for some time to just reflect or to rest or to have a mini retreat for yourself, or perhaps just block off, 3 to 4 hours of your day and say, I'm going to take that space just to reflect, to be with my cards, to be with spirit. Um, so that's a part of the type of energy and the type of flow that I tap into in order to make my next steps, to connect with spirit, to create stillness and reflection for myself. And all of these things have been therapeutic for me. And that's what I'm learning as I'm in graduate school, is that I've been um, learning the modalities of indigenous therapeutic practices. And those things are, self reflections, journaling, tarot readings, um, regular fasting, things that just pour, life and spirit into me. So, with all that being said, create your safe space for yourself. I'm going to turn down the lights just a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable, and then I'm going to come right back. I guess I could have left y'all with some music. I apologize. Okay. So if you have your journal out, we are going to be asking some questions um, to our highest guides, to our ancestors, um, to our higher selves. So if you're not into cards, you're not into, pulling any kind of oracle, that's fine, right? Your practice will just be to ask yourself these questions and just to journal what comes to your mind. And so when I'm saying journal doesn't even necessarily mean you're writing words, right? You might want to draw in pictures. You might want to draw in colors. You might want to scribble all over the paper. Whatever, flows out of you, just trust it, right? So just going to trust it. So I have these wonderful questions that I found online. And it's all about the reflection of autumn. It is from backyardbanshee.com. And I am going to cut and paste her site here so that you all can have it. So this is the tarot spread that I am using, and these are the questions. I'm gonna type out the first question, right? So just taking some space, grabbing your journal, and if you have your cards, and if you don't know already, you can cleanse your cards by tapping on them 3 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? That's how you kind of reset your cards, bring the energy, reset the energy. We've already got one popping out, the moon. The moon. So this is looking like we're going to be looking into some shadow work now, or things that perhaps pop up for us in our dreamscapes, right? Some self-reflection, some digging deep, some tellings of the truth. So our first question, and in this there are 11 questions, right? So if you go to this website, you see those 11 questions, I want to remind you, you do not have to do all 11 of those questions. If you only have 15 minutes, then do 2 questions, right? Take your time. Don't try to rush anything in. If you have time to take 3 hours, and stretch it out, that might be a part of your retreat space for yourself, right? At every change of season, right? Just to take 3 hours and sit and reflect and just be, in spirit. But if you only have 30 minutes, then maybe you do 3 questions, 4 questions, right? And just pick what resonates. I always find the one that kind of hits like, ugh, And I kind of pick, those out so that I can kind of dig a little bit deeper, so I can tell myself a little bit of, deeper truth, right? So with this, first question is asking all the spirits and just doing a little protection for yourself, asking all the spirits that know and love you, all the spirits of protection, all the spirits of your highest exalted ancestors, spirits, beings of love, all those beings of protection. to speak to you in a language that you can know and understand, right? For the highest and best good. So, with that, we can open up the reading. What do I need to do to release? What do I need to release in order to make room for the changing season? What do I need to release? Uh-oh, what did I do there? Sorry. What do I need to release in this coming season? Right, so the first thing that pops up into your mind, right, if you're not using cards, the first thing that just kind of pops into your mind, go ahead and begin to jot those things down, right? So for me, I have a notebook here. I spread everything out. A lot of times I will write down, what do I need to release? And I take space, pull a card. 9 of Wands. So 9 of Wands, right? 9 of Wands. Looking at that closely, there's fear, right? So what are we fearing? What are we being afraid of? That's what we need to just go ahead and release. That's over. You're done, right? You can let go of those fears. You can look them face to face, right? Seems as if the house is burning. It seems like there's just so much panic in her chest, right? She just wants peace. You know what I mean? There's a dark house behind her. She feels haunted, right? Probably from something that she had loved or something that she had planted and was giving fruit, you know what I'm saying, and watering, and somehow those fears just grew, right? So that thing that has you in a space, right, where you're always ruminating, always feeling as if something is in a panic. You know, there's a fire going on. A lot of us deal with a lot of anxiety, right? So this autumn is asking us to begin to release those spaces and those fears, right? We're in the middle of a very, once again, after 2020 and all the things that shifted from 2020 to 2022, here we are in 2024, right? In a lot of scarcity, a lot of change, a lot of incongruence, right? Our sensitivities are popping, right? Our intuitions are growing while the earth seems to be at war, right? Where there seems to be panic, things are changing, things are just getting extremely technological with AI and just uncertainty in those spaces, right? So this is a reminder to take some time and some inner space to be able to look at that and just to be able to release those fears, right? Just kind of, as we say, lay those burdens down, right? So that's part of what this equinox, this the moon, the shadow work, right? She's crossing the bridge, right, over those still waters. The moon is providing plenty of light for her to walk coolly, But notice that we don't see her face, right? Her face is towards the moon. She's guided by that inner strength to walk over, to face her shadows, to face her fears, to bring clarity to those faces, right? So autumn is giving us some time to look closer at that, right? So that's the first question. As you're journaling about that, we're going to go to the second question. How can I best align with and honor my true essence this season without exertion? Right? I love that. Without spinning my wheels, right? How can I be best in alignment without just spinning my wheels, without exertion, right? How can I best align? Get into your creativity, right? Knight of Wands, right? Here comes that spirit again, just on just on fire, right? Just on fire. Be adventurous, right? As you're going into that place in your inner world and you're facing some of those fears, right? How can you get creative? How can you kind of just let loose just a little bit, right? How can you just let spirit guide you, right? That fire inside you just kind of blaze in this creative, holistic, honest, uh, even daredevilish kind of way, right? So if you're just journaling about this, then the thought is about, in what ways can I be in this space where I don't fear this creative spirit within myself, right? This forging a new path, right? What feels fun, right? What feels really like something new and good, right? The days are going to be cooling off, right? How can you just enjoy that? How can you enjoy that change in yourself? Ooh. All right, let's go to the third question. What is a healthy boundary that I should set during this season and this transition? So this is a collective, this is a good one, y'all. These boundaries, right? I was just talking to a client. We were talking about how our boundaries create a safety around us, right? So that we can pour in a way that is honest and true and, in alignment, right? So what boundaries need to be set? The Five of Swords, negative thinking, right? Watch your negative thinking. Five of Swords is all about what's up in this head, what's coming out of your mouth. Watch the gossip, watch the negative thinking, right? So this weekend, I was driving to Atlanta and my vision of my life has come true, but it comes with some frustrations that I didn't foresee, right? That's, of course, what happens. Life is challenging. And so I dedicated to my friends. I told them I'm not going to be complaining about this anymore, right? Right? Maybe I need to adjust the dream. Maybe I need to plan further ahead. Maybe I need to not do this at all. Whatever the case may be, what we will not be doing is thinking or speaking negatively, right? So that means that's taking time to watch your thoughts, right? Listen to what you're saying, Watch what you're thinking and also what you're ingesting. Those who are around you, watch what they're saying. Watch what that comes out of their mouth, right? Listen, you know what I mean? Listen in a different way and be sure that you are manifesting what it is that you truly want, right? Complaining and wasting your breath or gossiping or whatever the case may be, right? It's bringing sorrow, right? It's not bringing you to your higher self, right? So watch what you're thinking, right? Watch how those fears show up. Watch what you're saying about them, right? And watch what those around you, right, are saying. Right. So this is for the next 3 months, right? Autumn all the way into winter. Right. This is not just this week. This is for a season. Right. So that's why it's so in depth. That's why it's 11 questions. Right. We're looking long term at what we're going to be working on bit by bit. Right. So this question is wonderful. Number 4, what positive energy am I inviting into my life at this time? Right? Before you pull cards or before you pull oracle, maybe you just journal first 2 or 3 things positive that you are inviting into your life. Maybe something spiritual, something physical, something mental. What's the first thing that kind of pops up as you think about some positive things that you want to bring into your life? I had to write mine down. Okay. Queen of Swords. Once again, we are communicating, right? This high priestess is an air sign, right? Those are energies of Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Don't quote me on that. I think that's an air sign, right? Queen of Swords, right? What kind of abundant thoughts, words, energies, how can you communicate, right, in ways that are truthful and honest? What kind of thoughts, again, we're going back to these thoughts from that 5 of Swords, right? So this is letting that fear go, letting those negative thoughts, letting those negative thoughts go here, right? And bringing in the priestess, right? The priestess of communications, the queen of communications, right? The high priestess of communications, right? So recently I was listening to a podcast or a clip, and it said, those that are excessive, right, in arguing have a lack of communication, right? There's some type of fear around communication. There's some kind of fear around being heard, right? And so there's this just battle, of one person being heard of another. No one is actually communicating. No one's actually listening, right? And so finding that kind of still space in yourself in order to add a lot of new and abundant thoughts, right? Transforming how you're thinking about and speaking about your life and yourself this autumn, right? Letting go of those things that you once feared and were probably continually causing you anxiety. Know that that relief is here, right? That relief is in facing it, letting it go, and then allowing new, clearer thoughts. You know what I mean? And communicating those things. The more you communicate those things, the more they come into your life, right? And that's whether it's good or bad. So, right, if we are looking at this autumn to bring abundant, love to ourselves and positive energy, we are now thinking and speaking in the positive. All right, so we're at number 5. Where can I find balance and stability in the period of shifting energies? Right, where can I find balance and stability? Where can I find balance and stability among these shifting energies? Is in your faith, my love, right? Your connection. I love the star because, number one, astrology, right? I found that astrology, reading the stars, divinations, they all line up with this interconnection to, I don't know, like just these uh, star beings, right? Always connecting and teaching us things. That's why the pyramids are placed in a certain way to be able to read the stars, right? There is something about this divine connection and faith and alignment. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing a rest and receive autumn, right, for this next 3 months, this whole next season. And we are on question number 5 from the link from Backyard Banshee. There was an intense 11 question therapeutic question for autumn, right? For autumn. So that is what we're doing. We're just looking into what these next 3 months are looking. And if you don't have your cards, again, just asking yourself these questions and pulling the answers down however they come, just journaling them, drawing them, painting them, resting with them, however it comes out. But please record in some kind of way, write down or voice note on your phone, the answers that are coming through. So whether you're pulling cards or you're channeling for yourself, right? Just know that you have to write these things down some kind of way so that you can come back to them later. It's positive reinforcement. You get data on your correct intuitions. So journaling, writing, speaking them, some kind of way, recording them is one of the most important ways to grow your intuitive gifts, no matter which ones you have. Okay. So question number 6, what positive changes have I already seen or experienced this season? So we're one day in. So wherever you are, this will be affirmation for what you are experiencing from autumn to winter. The Judgment card. So the Judgment card is an elevation, right? So the Judgment card is an elevation. This is where you get to the point where you really understand all the things that you've learned, right? You are in a more enlightened space, right? This is where the clouds begin to open and you experience a revelation about how much you've grown, right? How much light there is that you can share, right, with all those who are down here on earth. So this is a reflection of you here, right? And you're just divine light, right, being cast, right? So again, really affirming yourself this season, right? So that um, your inner light shines in these ways that you don't have to put in any effort, right? You speak positive and positive comes. You think positive, positive comes, right? You let go of the fears that you had of the past. You know what they are. You know what patterns they are. You don't have to dwell in that space, right? You can bring that to light and begin to walk in your truth this autumn. All right. So, number 7, what is the energy of my current situation and how can I best work with it? Right? What's the current energy? I feel like we answered this. But 6 of Cups, right? You're dealing with some nostalgia, you're dealing with some um loving heart space. Maybe there's some wisdom. I like to think of this is what's coming up for me, is that there's a wisdom from your past, right? That you are reveling in, right? That's bringing you to this new space of clarity, right? Maybe, so I know for me, I just got hired at a spiritual store where I get to lots of folks come in and ask spiritual questions. It made me feel like a teenager, right? It made me feel so good to be able to openly communicate all the things that I've learned about spirit. Um, I've had clients already come in and just ask some really deep and profound things that they just needed some kind of spiritual tools for. And I've been able to just on the spot be able to communicate my wisdom, right? Wisdom that I've just learned through life. And that can include, like, for example, today, someone comes in and she said, I want to create a care package because my best friend just had a miscarriage, right? And so because I've done so much, work around the mother. Um, I have personally experienced miscarriage and loss. I know the spirits of the mothers. Um, understandably, I could direct her towards um, different herbs, remedies, meditations that would allow her to mourn, grieve, as well as grow, right, in recognition of her transition. Right? We don't give enough space for grief. We don't give enough space for growth. We don't give enough space for us to feel our feelings. Um, and so certain baths and meditations and acknowledgments, have to be made in that case. So perhaps looking back at your past, right, and all the wisdom that you've grown, maybe you're able to somehow in your life relate to communicating, you know, your truths, right? So maybe that's perhaps a part of your season as well. Number 8, what areas in my life need extra attention and care? See what I mean? These are pretty deep. So, what in this autumn, and again, take what resonates with you. If it does not, baby, it is fine. You can just let that thing go, right? You might be sipping tea, you might be overwhelmed, you might be crying, right? Whatever it is right now, allow it to be. And there we go. Queen of Wands, right? Once again, we got a lot of wands. We got a lot of wands and a lot of swords. There is a lot of fire going on here, right? A little extra care to that spiritual creative queen that is within you. Once again, right? That spirited queen. If you are one who talks with spirit, if you're one who spends time with spirit, if you're one who conjures, if you're one who does energy work, if you're one who creatively somehow changes things, right? If you're into alchemy, right? Right? If you're into understanding and knowing, spirit in a very, very creative sense, knowing that you are a creator, that needs special care at this time, right? That's what exactly going back again. So I was like, I feel like some of these I'm saying them twice, and it's because I am, because we are having a lot of the same energy here, right? Those are those wands. That's about your creative energy. That's about letting that fear go and being exactly who you are, right? Letting spirit talk to you, move you, right? Watch your energy in that area, right? Give it some extra special care. You cannot suppress fire. It'll burn everything down. Just tend to that fire, right? Number 9, what can I do to find joy and peace during this season of autumn? What can I do to bring joy and peace? I think for me, I want to enjoy the weather. I want to make sure that I spend at least 1 day a week where I'm outside, and maybe every single day, right? Committing to at least spending 30 minutes no matter what the weather is, just so that I'm always grounding and reconnecting. So that's going to be important to me. And then I'm going to pull this card for our collective. Once again, this is a repeat of the star. This is a 5 of coins, right? Once again, this is about faith. This is about faith, right? These are once again the light inside the house of the chapel. You feeling like you're being neglected, but there is warmth inside your faith, right? There's warmth inside your faith, right? So go ahead and get creative. Let all those things go. Let your inner light just come on out. Right? Find yourself in a place where you let go of, any amount of scarcity, any amount of fear that you've been fearing, right? Any kind of places within you where you feel like, I don't know why I'm out here alone. You're not. The 5 of coins is always a reminder, right? That your sense of abandonment is something that where someplace within you that you are abandoning for yourself, right? So in order to find that peace, you've got to go back to that star, that place within yourself that you have faith. Because spirit is always already like, I got you, boo. I got you. Number 10, what wisdom has the universe gifted me in recent times that I can carry through to the end of the year, baby? I want to do a different card pull for that one. I don't know. I'm switching off the tarot because I really love this Starseed Oracle card. We are mixing and matching it up. Okay, so what energy we can bring through for the rest of the year? Whale and orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. Okay, so clearly I'm a sound healer, right? We're talking about some somatic sound here. This is whale and orca elders, right? So if any of you all know whales, if you listen to my bowls, that's share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep, right? So that must mean I'm going to be doing, and we're all going to be doing a lot more sound healing this autumn, right? So that means if you don't have access to sound healing near you or at a time that works good for you, then you need to pop in some YouTube, right? Do some over the ear headphones or inside the ear headphones, right? I try to make it as low tech as possible. I just try to plug it into my phone, right? Don't Bluetooth it. Maybe I plug it into my phone so I know the connection is strong, right? And just use sound as a way to bring you back into that clarity, right? As you're speaking clearly, as you're thinking clearly, right? As you're getting into your creative zones, right? Intuiting what spirit the fire and the wands are teaching you, right? Allow that sounds, those vibrations to bring you back to a place of peace and center, right? Just a regular practice. A regular practice. These things build up. It's not I'm sorry, spirituality is not, it's a lifetime, it's a journey. It is not I took a mushroom or ayahuasca or did some kind of bliss healing one time. It is a practice, it's a choice, it's a lifestyle. It is a constant frequency that you have to remind yourself of. I really wish I could show you how beautiful, but everything right now feels like this whole filming is so grainy. I always feel like there's shea butter on everything. Right? So this autumn equinox is asking you to use more sound vibrations. If you have a singing bowl at home, if you have tuning forks at home, if you can get some good sound healing in person, go out and get yourself some, right? Look up events and go. Make time in your schedule to show up in person, right? So that's the wisdom that the universe has gifted you in recent times that you can carry through to the end of the year, right? High vibrations, right? Wisdom, right? What is an intention? This is our last question. What is an intention or goal that I could set for myself this autumn equinox? All right, now, this might be a lot, right? You've already been in a space of expanding and letting go of your fears, right? Looking at your shadow self. We first pulled the moon, right? So I'm not going to pull a card for this last one, right? I want you to be able to come up with your own kind of inner space or inner mantra. We have pulled 10 cards, right? It's pretty intense for the next 3 months. And the very first one that dropped out was the moon, right? We're looking at some shadow. We're looking at some truths that maybe we can only look into our inner selves to know the answers to, right? Into our own magic. A lot of magic is done in alignment with the moon because it moves so fast and so quickly, right? You can kind of track your progress with the moon because it's so regular, right? And so what we were letting go of was fear, right? Looking at those dark places, looking at those places that we fear within ourselves, right? Watching our negative thoughts towards ourselves this season, right? So as you're looking at those fears, notice how your mind is responding to those fears, those things that you're saying to yourself, right? If you're looking at money issues, then look at the ways that you tell yourself that you're scarce. If you're having love, relationship, partnership issues, right? Begin to look at the ways that maybe you're saying negative things about your partner or your partnership or your relationship, right? Look at the ways that perhaps you've been gossiping or taking in too much gossip, right? Maybe you're watching things that are just having you always feel, or reading things or being on social media with the things that just constantly are communicating to you negative things, right? And begin to really shift those things, right? Begin to speak to yourself in the highest level, right? With clarity. Maybe you get creative with the way that you speak. Maybe you get creative with the way that you listen, right? Using your voice, using your clarity, using your mental awareness, your intelligence, right? And having faith in that, right? This autumn, we're having faith in that clarity. We're having faith in those positive thoughts, right? These new ways, these higher ways that we are speaking to ourselves, right? And in those ways that we communicate to ourselves, we we sense a space of enlightenment where we can also share. So whatever it is that we're communicating, we're now sharing that positivity, right? Through our own inner light, through our own inner truth, right? And this makes us feel a sense of innocence, right? Maybe there's a part of your past that once you let those fears go, you begin to reconnect with, right? You begin to reconnect with why you and your partner first met, or the ways in which you all were naive. Maybe you begin to think of an abundant time in your past if at once you felt a sense of scarcity, right? And we get creative with that wisdom, right? We create a sense of spiritual charge, right, around this new clarity, this new communication that we have, right? We start to tend to a new fire. We start to tend to a new fire. And we begin to let go of, again, the ways that we felt like we didn't have enough, or routines or spaciousness around who and what we really are, right? Once again, letting go of that fear that we'll be left or somehow left behind or left in the cold, right? And we begin to just make and remind ourselves of a higher vibration, right? These are the elder wells, right? And we know how smart and telepathic and clear they are because they tone to one another, right? So you keeping your vibration high, keeping your vibration creative, clear, right? The ways that autumn is bringing new alignment and new abundance to your life. Write it down, right? Write it down. I know that this has been an hour and this is long. But like I said, at any point, you can ask these questions of yourself, right? Write them down. These are parts of therapeutic processes. You don't have to do cards. You don't have to be a part of any type of faith, right? It's just time to reflect on your own growth from season to season. It's just a way to access your own connection, your own flow in whatever way that works best for you. All right. I don't know when I'll do one of these again. Email me, talk to me, however you saw this. Let me know that you saw it and how you felt about it. All right. I'll talk to you soon.